Yes, guys, welcome to this series of project development. And the first topic we'll be covering in this series is how to make a ER diagram for our project. So, as you are seeing on the screen, this is an example of a ER diagram. The rectangles denote the entities. So, ER diagram stands for entity relationship diagram. So, the rectangles they denote the entities, and the diamonds they denote the relationship, and the ovals they denote the attributes, and this one to many denotes the relationship. So if I can break it down for your understanding, the rectangles they denote the entity, the oval they denote the attributes, the diamonds they denote the relationship, and the one to many, 1 over m, that denotes mapping cardinalities, that denotes mapping cardinalities. So now let's start with one. So if we again go back to this and have a look at it, you'll observe the entity has attributes. So what are the attributes of the department entity? Department ID, department name, and address. So why is there a need for a ER diagram? First of all, why have they asked us to show the ER diagram first? So first, whenever you start construction of a building, first you lay the foundation. So whenever we start building an application, first we need to build the database. The foundation is not visible. So if you look at the Burj Khalifa, you see the construction. You don't see the foundation. They have dug lot deeper inside the soil. So because they wanted to construct the Burj Khalifa. So the tourist only sees the construction. He or she doesn't see the foundation. Similarly, whenever we make an application, Android app or iOS app or any website, any e-commerce website like Flipkart, Amazon, or any management system like we are making in our project, shop management systems. So the user will see the interface, the forms. This database is hidden from the user. So first the database is made, and the making of the database starts with making of the ERD. You cannot make the database unless you have the ERD in place. So that's why a ma'am has first asked for the ER diagram. So once the ER diagram is in shape, you can start making your databases. So these entities then become your tables, and these columns then becomes, these attributes then becomes the columns of those tables. So if you look at this, you will observe, so these entities will become the tables of the database, and these attributes of the entity will become the columns of that table. And these relationship, the one is to many. So what happens over there is the primary key of the one table becomes the foreign key in the many table. So if I have example, this is the example. So if you observe over here, I'll help you with an easier example. What I mean by one to many. Okay, see over here. This is one to many. One department has many employees. So ideally they should have written over here one. So the mapping, the cardinality is shown as, there should be a 1 over here and there should be a m over here. So the one table will be department whose attributes are mentioned are department ID, department name, and location. So those attributes they become the columns of that table. And then as they are into one many relationship, so what happens over there is the primary key of the one table becomes foreign key in the many table. And what happens in many to many, we have to construct a third table. So if there is a many to many relationship, if there is a many to many relationship. So what is one to many and many to many? In one to many it is unidirectional. One to many is unidirectional and many to many is bidirectional. So one to many is only one way traffic. Like one employee, okay, many employees, they work in one department, and the relationship over here, the diamond over here is works. What is the diamond over here? So the relationship will be works. One to many, many to one is more or less the same only. So flip even if you flip this arrow, doesn't make much of a difference. One to many, many to one is more or less the same. So one department has many employees, so department will have which all attributes? Department number, department name, location. Out of them, which is the primary key? Okay, in a ER diagram, the primary key is denoted by a underline. The primary key is denoted by a, so the primary key should be underlined. So if you are showing a ER diagram, and if you are showing a primary key in that ER diagram, you need to make sure that the primary key is underlined. So it's over here. See, the primary key should be underlined. So if you are writing the attribute D number, please underline that attribute. And now many employee has attributes: E number, E name, salary. So as it is one to many, the primary key of the one table is copied over here, and that becomes a foreign key to link both the tables. That becomes a foreign key to link both the tables. This is one to many. If you have to do many to many, so many to many is bidirectional. Many to many is bidirectional. So if you look at this relationship, actor and movie. So if we have actor and movie, they are two entities. So I have the entity actor and I have the entity movies. So actor has attributes: actor number, actor name, actor age, and movie has attributes: movie number, movie name, release year. Now, why is it bidirectional? Because one actor can work in many movies, and simultaneously one movie can have many actors. So Akshay Kumar, one actor, has worked in many movies. Now I don't need to name his movies, we are well versed of his movies. And one movie, let's say Three Idiots, has many actors: Amir Farhan and that Rastogi. So how do we show this in a database? Then we have to make a third table. And both the primary keys are taken. Okay, so here which is the primary key over here? And which is the primary key over here, which I can uniquely identify each movie with? So what we have to do is make a third table by giving any name to it, or give any name whatever you wish to give table name as, and you have to inherit link both the primary keys, and they will become foreign key over here. So this actor number is linked over here, and this movie number is linked over here. So this is what the mapping cardinalities do. So first, when we are preparing the ER diagram, we have to list down which all entities are playing a role in our system. So I have sent you all the ER diagrams. So here the entities are department, worker, project, supplier, order, product. Make sure that we don't form a cycle in the ER diagram. There should not be a closed circuit. So one department belongs many workers. So they will have two tables. Department table with these columns, worker table with this column, and the primary key of department will go as a many foreign key in the worker table. Worker project, many workers participate in many projects. So if there are two workers, Alice and Ben, Alice is working on the IT project and Alice is also working on the mechanical project. So one worker, many projects, and in the IT project, Alice is also working and Ben is also working. So one worker in many projects and one project, many workers. So it is a many to many relationship. So in this, you have to create a third table, worker project, and take the primary key of both and store in that. Then many workers do many order. So like this also you'll have a third table, worker order, and the primary key of worker and primary key of order will be put in that table. One order contains many products. So the primary key of order, which is the order ID, will go as a foreign key in the product table. Okay. Many supplier deliver many orders. So supplier and order tables will be there, and the primary key of both will be put in the third table, supplier order table. So like this we have to show and present our ER diagram. So I have sent you all the ERDs. Just by looking at the ERDs, now you can understand what sort of database we will eventually end up with. So the ER diagrams eventually end up forming your database. So this is the reason we are studying. So if you look at it, at the end you should have your database in place. So this ER diagram should help me construct my database tables like this. Clear? And there are types of attributes. So the ovals are your attributes, right? That there are 5 types of attributes. I'll just rush you all through them. First type of attribute is your the entity is a rectangular box and the name of the entity is within that rectangular box. Attributes is a oval and the name of the oval and the name of the attribute is inside the oval. So here the entity is student and the attributes of the student entity are roll number, name and gender. So out of this, one is simple attribute, also known as atomic attribute. These are attributes which cannot be further subdivided, which you cannot further split, like roll number cannot be further split. Composite attributes which can be further split. So if address is your attribute, can be split into street address, city, state, postal code. So address is a composite attribute. Multi-valued attribute, those attributes which have more than one value. So if I have an entity called student, I'll have attributes as roll number, name. Mobile number is one attribute of a student. A student can have more than one mobile number. So I will put mobile number in double oval, which denotes this entity can have more than one value. Derived attribute is put in a dashed oval. Derived attribute is the attribute which we can derive from an existing attribute. So if you have an employee attribute, employee entity with attributes employee ID, employee name, address, skill is multi-valued. One employee can have multiple skill, can have management skill, can have technical skill, can have vocational skill. So one employee can have many skills. And if I have taken his date employed, the date he joined the organization, I can easily calculate how many years he is working with us from this attribute. So if Facebook asks you to enter your date of birth, from that date of birth, Facebook can easily calculate how many years old you are. You just have to subtract current date with the date of birth gives us the age. So the attribute which we can derive from any existing attribute is called as derived attribute, and it is showed as a dashed oval. And identifier attribute is your primary key. Identifier attribute is your primary key, which can with the help of which you can uniquely identify a record, and that should be underlined. So how do you identify it as a primary key? Primary keys are underlined. So in a student table, student ID is the primary key. So these are your mapping cardinalities. These are your entities. These are the attributes, and the mapping cardinalities is one to many. I showed you all. Okay. So just these four things have to be understood in a ER diagram, and the reason we are doing it because we will be constructing our database with the help of these ERDs. So I've tried this short video. Have a look at it, and we'll cover the details in the session which we take at 10:30 today. So those who are not available, are busy at 10:30, have some college work, can go through this video, and if you still have doubts, you can join the 10:30 session.